So we're going to look at Marcus Helligkilde here from this tournament here that was in Valderrama a couple of weeks ago, specifically on the leg movement. So this is a really big one for players that are struggling with low points, so hitting the ground before the ball and potentially hitting thin shots, but also players who struggle with path problems as well, path going too far out to in or potentially even into out with this move as well, depending on the compensations being made. So I'm going to draw a couple of lines here, one just on the flex of his trail leg here on the left, and then on the right just one on the outside portion there of his trail leg also. So what you're going to notice here is as we take this player up to the top, one thing we'll touch on in other videos, but his knees are obviously changing flex here. Okay, you can see the amount of flex on his trail leg at setup. Then he goes to the top. His knees are changing flex. So his left knee is going more forward. His right knee is extending slightly. That's allowing his hips to turn. It's allowing his torso to turn. But the piece I want to focus in mostly here is what happens in the downswing. So a problem that I often see with players is in the downswing, you'll often see this trail knee move very far forward. You'll see this trail foot really come up onto its toes very, very early. From a face-on perspective, we don't see enough lateral motion of the legs towards the target. So that's going to cause, that's what can cause your low point issues. But if we take a look here what Marcus does, so he makes his downswing. By about halfway down, he's going to regain the same amount of knee flex he had at setup by halfway down. But notice what happens from this point onwards. His right foot, his trail foot, will begin to what we call bank. Okay, so we don't have a huge amount of lifting of that trail heel. You'll see him actually move his weight more towards the inside of his trail foot. And you'll notice his trail leg hasn't broken through this line we drew at setup. From face on, what you'll notice here is as he makes transition, you'll see his trail leg move forward. Okay, and you'll see that weight go into the inside portion of his trail foot here also. And notice where his shin is here in comparison to where it started. Okay, so we've moved forward laterally into the downswing and into impact. This is what's going to help hit the ground after the ball. And because we're not spinning open, we're not getting that trail heel up off the ground too early, we have space. We've created space with our lower body so we can attack the ball slightly more on that in-to-out swing path. So we're taking down into delivery here. That club is approaching the ball a little bit more from into out, so he's going to be able to hit a nice little draw here. And that right foot is what we call banking. Okay, so the trail leg isn't hopping out in front of him. We're not spinning open. We've got that nice lateral drift into the lead side through impact. So it's a really big point just to have a check if you're struggling with strike contact, if you're struggling with some path problems, controlling the club face. Just have a little check what the lower body is doing through impact and in the downswing. It's a really important area. And if we can see some things that are not happening how we'd like in that lower body, we can then begin to look at how we can improve those characteristics in the swing. Okay, hope that video helped. As always, in the online academy, one-to-one swing analysis just like this, we can identify a couple of pieces that are actually going to transform your ball striking and really hit the important areas. So check that out if that's of interest, and if you think this might help someone else, don't forget to share it also. Okay, speak soon.